Hey everybody, just one quick thing before we start. The audio is a little bit fecky this episode. I'm not entirely sure why, but it was echoey in here today. And also early in the episode, someone was mowing the lawn outside, and we didn't really catch it until it was too late, but it does go away after only a couple of minutes. I hope you don't mind. Sit back and enjoy the show. Man, I always wanted to say that. I'm gonna be like super low effort. I'm gonna be low effort and low energy today.
I won't allow you to be low effort. That's not allowed here.
Oh, you know what I thought you were going to say?
What?
When have you ever not been low effort?
This
I
is
put my phone into airplane mode. That's about as much effort as I've ever put into this series.
I see.
Nah, love you too.
This is a weird intro. I don't know where to go with this.
I didn't know. Sorry, I didn't realize we'd even started.
Yeah, of course we started. You watched me press record.
Well, yeah, but I thought you were gonna be like, "Hey, everybody."
Oh, you waiting for me to actually
Like,
start it.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to part 99 of fucking Minecraft, or like something like that.
I just keep track of these by the thumbnail at this point. I'm expecting this one for just all Dante's mouth.
What I've been doing is, because I'm starting to learn Photoshop or whatever my...
Oh, you call that starting to learn?
Yes. I'm starting to learn.
I thought that was MS Paint.
When I fucked it up, I don't know how to fix it.
You can save copies
have
of the
to go
original.
deeper. And so
You
I'm
don't
hoping
edit
that-
the original image, Austin.
Yeah, see, I know that now. But I've been learning some stuff. I've been using face swap AI technology to try to make thumbnails.
Okay.
I put Dante from DMC's face on Khaleesi, Daenerys Targaryen,
Why?
when she's in that shot as the bells are ringing.
Why?
It's funny. I've just been looking for somebody to use it, but it still has the fucking like free face swap watermark on it, which honestly is funnier to me.
When are you gonna move out of this cringe humor phase?
Well, it's been 25 years and I haven't yet.
Fair enough.
You remember how I fucking introed last time?
You attempted to fake a beer bottle opener?
No, that was you. I called myself Scrumbumbulous.
Oh god.
No, you took my ASMR beer, so I'm just like, all right, well, I guess I'll just have to out myself. Hey, I'm actually drinking wine this time. I do not actually have alcohol today.
Oh, we just lost every viewer.
See, Austin drinks alcohol on REEsponse. However, today, I am not Austin. I am punished Venom Austin. A hero that has been denied his nap time. I am so fucking tired today. I got 1 hour. See, actually, this will lead us in really well because this is this week's round of Did Austin Read the DMC novel? And my answer is I was planning on reading it today. I had nothing going on, and I was really fucking tired, so I'm like, I'm just gonna lay down, throw on some tunes, and read this novel. And as I'm clicking the link, literally, as I'm clicking the link, you contact me. You're like, hey, let's do it right now. The response, the next episode, right now. Let's do it. I was like, oh, I was so hyped for being like, and this week, did Austin read it? Yes! But no!
But no, you can't say that. Because you're a failure.
Yeah. No, don't insult
You failed,
me.
Punish
Don't
Austin
insult me
Snake.
today. I hate you. Like, that's a joke, but it's also kind of not.
I know how it is.
Do you know how, like, I was like, ugh. Like, I can't take a nap, but I can sit here and just, like, rest my weary body. So I threw on some, like, a really good song.
David Bowie.
You interrupted me as I was listening to Moon Age Daydream. So, like, I kind of Want You to Die.
It's not that good of a song anyway. So, welcome back to this episode of REEsponse. About...
I'm going to get some wine.
Okay, well,
Fuck you.
We'll be here.
Fuck you, David Bowie's not that. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Welcome to the Kaiser Kraken show. I have inherited this channel again.
Fuck you.
All right, so anything I want to address from the last episode? Not that I remember off the top of my head, but I very much am still happy with the response that we're getting from these videos. Now I'm just buying for time now. We can probably cut this in post. I don't know if he will. He's been pretty lazy. Well, there's that. And so what's the deal with airplane food? It's in a plane. You know, I never learned the punchline to that joke. I don't know if that...
I'm back now. Fuck you.
Welcome back.
Hey.
It got awkward.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Oh, is this the first time I've left you alone with them?
I could feel their ears.
Jesus, did you hear the echo? As I said the word them? Yeah, I don't know why, but my room...
This room needs a pop filter.
It's really echoey today.
The entire room.
I also am like... The room's echoey today. Like, that's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever said.
But it's true.
But it's like, it's worse today. I don't know what's going on.
We're cursed.
I think it's probably because I was like, oh yeah, we're recording in my bedroom. I could have been like an asshole and been like, in the studio
In the
today.
studio, which I happen to sleep in. I'm just a poor artist. I can't get by. I live in a studio, didn't I say?
Hey, I'm a starving asshole is worse than saying I'm a starving artist. Okay?
Is it though?
Yes.
No, fair enough. Should we start this video? Like I've lost I think I've lost my ability to segue.
I think that's the only thing I've ever said on this series that's truly definitive.
If you say so.
A perfectly objective statement. If you're poor, call yourself a starving artist. People will pity you instead of hating you.
That's a thought for you. Well, we'll dissect that later. Let's continue with Twin reviews. The hard truth about Devil May Cry 5.
Right before we start,
yes,
I honestly thought I was going to lean into the Metal Gear joke I made more.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly thought that like I'd be like, I'm nuclear or something like that, but you know what that means?
What?
That means the Metal Gear memes are finally starting to die.
All that means that you'll be bringing them back soon. Then.
No, they're like the Dragon Balls. As soon as the Metal Gear memes die, I also die. I'll just disappear. You'll come in for the next response and be like, where is he?
There'll just be like a tray of like Dorito ash in your chair.
I'm not Jeff Keighley.
And then I'll take your ash and I'll throw it off an oil rig and I'll rub it on my cheeks.
We'll make butt plugs with his ashes. Carry them into battle with us.
Oh no, I did it again!
Do you realize what we've done?
What?
This isn't the video. This is episode 4 of our response.
Oh god damn it!
Stop yelling, it's echoey. Well, you dropped my mouse again.
In that respect,
and I'm not gonna fucking
you laugh, but
edit
he's funny
this.
anyway.
You're editing this.
Fine.
Top, but
Okay.
I think that at the end.
Okay.
Why didn't they do that with Nico?
I'm in now. I'm
Okay.
fucking high energy, laser focused. I'm in. You got me now.
We're in it. We're in it to win it.
Yes, you just didn't segue into it, and so I got all of my nonsense out already.
Yeah, this is just a non-segue day. Mm-hmm. I should buy a Segway.
That's the worst one you've had ever. Because you're trying to you're like, oh, do you want to talk about segues now? Because, like, as much as I love Devil May Cry,
think that at the end of the day,
Okay.
the worst thing DMC5 does.
I'm
is act
relishing
like
the
Dante and
opportunity
Virgil's
for a new
struggle has
topic
just
at
been
this
these
point.
two idiots bickering for no reason, and that Nero's the one
Wait,
who
hold
finally
on.
put Virgil's struggle.
Oh god, we just started.
I think that at the end of the day, the worst thing DMC5 does is act like Dante and Virgil's struggle has just been these two idiots bickering for no reason, and that Nero's the one who finally puts a stop to it. Up until this game, Virgil was evil. Even in this game, he kills thousands of people. Dante, on the other hand, is a hero who puts a stop to Virgil's plans at great personal cost, time and time again. Framing the story as anything less.
What's the personal cost for Dante?
The killing his brother, losing his brother, it's an emotional toll.
Okay. They are bickering for seemingly no reason. Yes. It's because we've been seeing their struggle. We've been seeing their struggle from their perspective. Every game is from Dante's perspective, basically. And to Dante, that's the most important thing ever.
Yeah, because
Stopping Virgil is the most important thing in his life. It's his reason for fighting.
your
End
reason. End quote. Yeah, right, that's a good point.
Virgil. Right, I can't do that. Right, physical comedy. God damn it. I was like overdoing the V, the way that V does in that scene. I love that. That's like a hard, like 3-second V, just so the camera can be like, oh, that's a V. Okay. Virgil. But like, things were at stake while they were fighting. Yes.
We talking about 3, 5, or in general?
In general.
Yeah, there's always been a toll in terms of the greater scheme. Because I mean, in 3 it was I was going to say tiramisu. Tiramisu, is it? I can't remember how to pronounce it properly.
Tenman McGrew?
Tenman McGrew. Either way, it pops up in the middle of Redgrave City, and there's demons flying around everywhere, just because Virgil wanted more power.
Like, we play the games from Dante's perspective. Dante has always had a good enough reason for fighting Virgil.
It's also important to point in the note, at least in 3, in the beginning, the whole point is that he's not confronting Virgil because he's a hero and wants to do good and save the city. He just wants to fight Virgil.
What did he say? What have you got for me this time, brother?
Yeah, like he doesn't really care. Obviously, the whole point of the game, Dante's awakening, is him starting to care more about external sources of things external to him.
The one time in 3 that we saw them fight was the one time that Dante was like, maybe there is like something to this hero business, like starting to go there.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and he gets it all from Lady. That's the course of the game.
Dude, like I can't give you like Sparta. Like I can't let you have it. Like sorry, dude. That's fucking awful.
And also,
but that how many other times have they fought for nothing? How many times?
It's implied. Well, at least in the events previous to 3, in the events of 3, it's implied quite a bit. Although
like
obviously
tons of times.
Obviously, there's a prequel novels that I have.
How many times have we fought? It's the only memory of us I've had since we were kids. We've seen one other instance of them fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and then, like you can't, and you also can't
possibly dozens of times.
Yeah, and you can't count 1 because at least it's even implied in 1 that what? Someone's lawn mowing. What?
That's what it is. Sorry, I'm tired and I'm now sipping wine. I'm like, what's that noise?
Yeah, there's noises.
Oh God!
Fucking looking around my room like it's coming from in here.
You're looking around like there's a ghost coming out of the walls.
Oh shit!
They've come for me.
I forgot to tell you.
What?
This apartment complex.
It's haunted.
Haunted.
Even though it's like 10 years old.
It's 2 years old.
Pretty fast.
Yeah. Shit's haunted.
The second they moved in, they just got stabbed as they were moving their luggage in.
Indian burial ground.
Oh, did they make Fallout 76 here?
I don't even know what that means.
The game's cursed, man. Moving on, though. Back to the point
Fallout 76 was made on, or is, an ancient Indian burial ground.
We'll just leave it at that.
Wow. Your segues are awful.
Well, because you're segueing. You're the one that brought up the stupid someone doing the stuff outside.
Well, yeah.
Can I finish?
Could you imagine if just like through a part of this video there was just meh, and we just never brought it up?
I guess that's fair.
Just pretend it didn't happen.
Just pretend it didn't happen. That's what the professionals do.
That's the DMC2 of REEsponse.
What was I saying? What was the point? Oh yes, back to because you can't count the fight in DMC 1 because even in that game it's implied that Vergil is just being controlled by Mundus. Mm-hmm. So you really can't even count that as a fight between their two ideologies or Dante stopping Vergil because he's evil. And also, summing it up as that Vergil's just evil is taking away what the whole point of DMC5 also is, and also a little bit of 3 as well, is that both 3 and 5, the two games that expand on Vergil's point of view, is to make him more gray. Yeah, he's kind of a dick. Yeah, he kills a lot of people. Yeah, he's kind of an asshole. But the whole point of these games is to, at the very least, sympathize him. And at least understand his...
That's kind of what Dante does. Dante is basically your gateway into Vergil's humanity in this...
In
5.
Yeah.
Because, like, his redeeming factor for why he didn't tell Nero is, like, he's your family. I can't have you fighting your family. Like, it sucks, bro.
Yeah. And that's Dante talking from experience from the events of DMC 1.
So...
Well, you could even say 3 as well.
Like, that's why he's like... I mean, that's another reason that he's not... They didn't Luke him. Like, because... Yes, he was coming from a place of weakness here, emotional weakness.
But it's weakness that's been set up in previous things and is grounded. Oh.
Yeah, I'm just talking about strictly 5.
Okay, strictly 5.
And yes, like, the plot would have been resolved sooner and easier if he had opened up about this. Mm-hmm. But technically, he had a pretty good reason for... Like, he had a good enough justification for himself.
Yes.
To not tell him.
Mm-hmm. And it's even better because it works with things that have been set up in previous games.
Yes.
And instances of Dante.
What we've seen of Dante and Vergil's fighting, out of a possible, like, double-digit record number of duels, we've seen one where Dante was in the right, and we've seen one where neither of them were basically in the right.
Because it was so far along the line to them fighting, that's all they thought that they could do was
fight.
These
fuckers are old now.
Yeah.
And they've only ever been fighting.
Like, I'm trying to think of... but yeah, just trying to sum it up as Dante's the hero and Vergil is the evil. And why are they portraying either character as anything else is a little... I guess it's really selling the series short.
My boys have too many dimensions.
Yeah, it's selling them short in terms of the characterization that both 3 and 5... Well, 3 and 5 have done in terms of making them more nuanced characters. Particularly 5 as well. But, you know, Dante's the hero. He needs to do the good and do the right.
Okay, I will say that the red Oni, blue Oni situation with the, redemption arc has been done.
I guess so. It doesn't make it bad.
No. I'm like, yeah, this is a fucking hard Vegeta situation. But, like, yes, like, Vegeta's one of my favorite characters ever.
But he's just never done justice.
Okay. Vegeta is amazing, not because of Toriyama, but despite Toriyama. Every time Toriyama attempts to make people dislike Vegeta and be like, give him an excuse to kind of just, like, start to write him out of the series, he unintentionally makes him more compelling, but less strong.
That's true. He's a family man now. He has a family. He can't be cool if he has a family. Yeah, he can't train and stuff.
Every time Toriyama writes someone as a main character, they're like kind of dopey but nice and strong. So he's like, oh, I'll just start making Vegeta have like feelings and shit. People will hate him. And everyone's just like, no, more Vegeta, please. This shit's good. This shit you're making right now, fucking good. More, please.
It's funny even when like, this was horrible off topic, but it's funny how even when Vegeta is like peak asshole, he's still a better father than Goku.
Yeah. You know what's fucking ridiculous?
What?
after he punched his child in the face and was like, I'm going to take you to the park for an hour. In Dragon Ball Super, he actually does take him to the park. Like, I'm not a huge fan of Dragon Ball Super. Like, I think, technically, if Dragon Ball Z, or Dragon Ball had ended at the Cell saga, when it was technically supposed to end, I think it would have been fine. The Buu arc has some of my favorite shit in it, in terms of Vegeta. But, like, Super, there's nothing there for me, really, in terms of, like, things I needed or wanted to see. But, man, him taking his son to the park, I was like, oh, fuck, he did that.
Alright, let's get back to DMC.
Right. So, like, we're seeing them bickering for, like, quite possibly maybe the 100th time.
As well as just in terms of the conflict that exists within 5 is very well set up for both sides of being, I don't want to say entirely like that, like, because Vergil's side's not really right. It's at least either way you understand the perspective of both sides in the way that what they've reached the conclusions they have.
Vergil is evil. But up until now, we've never really been given the chance to consider him as anything but.
Yeah.
And that's what this game did.
Yeah. And it's also important to remember that it's only at the very absolute end of DMC 5 where Vergil even begins to entertain the possibility of considering the value of anything's life other than his own.
And
so it's basically...
At what point do we forgive him?
Yeah. Obviously, if there's a DMC 6 that focuses with Vergil, that would be the point of it. If the ending of 5 isn't he's redeemed now, it's there's a possibility of it.
Yeah, I just beat you in combat without killing you. Fucking fix this. Those roots, cut them. Like, they didn't go out for pizza. Or, like, oh, can I... Yo, Vergil, let me show you my van. Like, oh, finally, Dad, come see what I made. Like, no, it's like... Fix this shit. This shit you did? Unfuck it. And Dante goes along with it because that's one of the only possible redemption arcs that Vergil has, fixing his own mistakes.
Yeah, as well as also like saying that it's bad that Nero's the one that solves the family feud between them that has existed in previous games and is alluded to in 3. Moving on, though.
No, if Nero had been the only one who had a part in fixing this, he would have literally had to fight them both and then expel Vergil somehow. Like, force him back into the demon realm to keep Dante from fucking killing him.
Yeah.
But he violently ended the fight and then talked to them.
Yep.
And then Dante, because he's not evil... He's not a fucking paragon of justice, but he's not evil, listened, and then Vergil didn't listen, and so then they fought, and then he listened.
It's also important to note that Vergil isn't the incarnation of evil. He doesn't gain happiness from the suffering of others.
No,
he's just the end goal of apathetic. He doesn't care. He doesn't see value in it at all. He just wants his own power. It's only at the end of 5 where he starts thinking outside of that box. But he's an asshole and evil, but he's not like megalomaniacal supervillain evil that enjoys the pain and suffering of others. He just doesn't care.
Even Hard Urizen. Like, there was no Schadenfreude there.
No, yeah.
They went to fight him, and he was like, why? This will not end well for you, pitiful mortal flesh creature thing. Meat bag.
Like, he's so apathetic, he barely even fights them. He sits on the chair and just goes, okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going.
S is simply not consistent with the rest of the series. Lowering Dante
How?
and Vergil does not raise up Nero. It makes them all look like idiots.
Do they lower Dante and Vergil though? In like narratively, like they don't lower them in power level. They don't lower them in narratively. I mean, I guess you
It's
could
showing their struggle from a different perspective.
You could make it. You could make an
Because
argument that it lowers them.
Dante
but it
and
doesn't.
Vergil are the most important people in the universe to Dante and Vergil.
Yeah, in terms of Dante's perspective, not as much, but yes, still very much true. Basically, if you're seeing it from Dante's perspective, then But then we're seeing it from a third-party perspective from Nero, so obviously it's going to be... Also, the whole point of 5 is shedding a light on the
In
failures
4,
and, like, the
he
bit of the
does-
character weaknesses.
Sorry.
Sorry.
In 4, he doesn't even go to Fortuna. He's like, someone makes him. And then he finds out that the Yamato's here, and so he sticks around.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, he finds out Yamato's here, and that Nero might be somewhat related to him, because he's like,
yeah, so he
who's
lets
this
this
kid?
shit go on longer. But you know how he fucking tried to solve the problem in the first place? Just walk in and fucking cap the dude. Fuck it. Easiest paycheck I've ever had.
I still like that scene. Like that was probably one of the fun things. This is a bit of a tangent now, but in terms of like DMC4 viewing Dante from a perspective that isn't Dante, pretty entertaining. In the way that Dante just flies to the roof, just shoots a guy in the head. That might be that Dante from Dante's perspective, it's a cult that worships demons that wants to bring demons into the real world. He's like, okay, I'm just gonna solve this by killing the Pope.
If Nero hadn't fought him and he had gotten curious about Nero, he would have shot the Pope and then gone home.
Yep.
Like, job done.
Well, yeah, he also played like maybe like yeah, either way, because obviously they revived the Pope through I think it's just demon powers. I haven't played 4 in a while. They put him on that chair and he gets revived. I think it's either way.
Yeah, but then Dante would have found out later from Lady not paying him that the job isn't over.
That's a good point. Trish would be like, "Hey, so that Pope's still alive." Dante's like, "Ah."
It's like, oh, is that why my fucking account balance is still negative?
Why pizza money hasn't come in?
Yeah, I heard there was a paycheck coming in, so I bought some posters. Oh, is that what these are? Why are they all pizza? Oh wait, no, that one's boobs. That's a fucking Kamiya joke.
What?
In DMC 1, where his sword. What was his sword in DMC 1? That's Force Edge, right?
It was Force Edge you used through the entire game. Yeah.
In the beginning.
Yes, it was Force
Before
Edge,
Alistair.
and then you get Alistair, but you still have
Yeah,
Force Edge.
Force Edge is like on a rack and it's covering up somebody's titties.
That's what. Yep, I remember.
And then
that
he
now.
picks up the sword, and then she's got like things on her nipples, so it's like, oh, fucking Kamiya.
It's like an Austin Powers joke. Moving on.
It is an Austin Powers joke.
Well, look at these melons.
Story as anything less is simply not consistent with the rest of the series. Lowering Dante and Vergil does not raise up Nero. It makes them all look like idiots. And I wish they understood this about the story and the characters. Because
Okay, before I continue, I just don't see how it makes them look like idiots, though. Who's an idiot in this situation? Well, Dante's like they're just narrow-minded.
They are misguided in their hatred for each other.
Yeah, but like the game does a pretty good job of also bringing up things from the past, but also even in itself justifying that sibling rivalry and their perspectives on each other.
Also, like, their hatred for each other is also somewhat justified in the fact that their constant fighting has escalated to this point. Like, there will always be stakes when they fight each other because they make them.
They're two of the most powerful beings in the entire universe of Devil May Cry. I mean, arguably, they might be the most powerful beings. Because Arisen was king of hell, but yes.
It's all a matter of perspective. I'm gonna make a Star Wars reference.
Oh, I'm excited.
Because Mandalorian's been on my mind recently. Star Wars. I've been thinking about Star Wars more than no times, which is a record for me recently. But this is very similar to KOTOR 1 versus KOTOR 2.
Okay.
In the events of KOTOR 1, I'm going to give brief, no spoilers, technically. You are taking part in a light side v dark side, Jedi v Sith, massive war. Where, you and a couple of other Jedis, the counselor, are you are the only hope we have against Darth Revan and Darth Malak. These are, Sith, Darth Vader, big dick bad boys. And in KOTOR 2, which takes place after the events, whenever that conflict is brought up by anyone on other planets, they refer to it as the Jedi Civil War.
Interesting.
Because they don't give a fuck about, Sith? You're all fucking fuck you. You're Jedi. And they're like, no, but it's, the most important thing ever. And they're like, to you? I don't give a fuck.
Let me just farm my moisture, guy.
It's really the same thing. Like, it's a matter of perspective here. Mm-hmm. This is the first time we're seeing Dante v. Vergil from the perspective of anyone outside, like Team Dante or Team Vergil. Because like Lady had a personal vendetta that made her.
It wasn't even related to Vergil.
No, not technically, but it became related to Vergil.
I guess so. Yeah.
Vergil was in the sphere of like, in order to stop my dad, I have to first defeat this evil person.
Blue coat version of guy I also just met.
Yes. But changing perspective and understanding what you haven't been seeing doesn't necessarily make it worse.
No, it's just an exploration.
Exactly. It's like, imagine if there was a cutscene following the perspective of somebody who was had just seen 10 minutes just come up like, what the fuck is up with this shit?
Your little baby crew cut.
And then you just see two guys fighting on top. Just fighting with each other, and they're like, did you do this? Is this you? And they're like, no, we're fighting for the fate of the world. And they're like,
okay.
All right, dude.
Like,
can you, like, clean this up when you're done?
Like, my shop was there.
Like,
am I getting that back?
Like, but we're, like, instead of that, like, camera focuses to Dante perspective. So, like, if I let Vergil have Sparta, it's the end of everything. Which might be true.
That's the other thing about 3 that you could even talk about a little bit, in the way that, like, what was even the risk of having Vergil really have Sparta's power, besides just having an extremely apathetic person have a lot of power? Like, Vergil doesn't, like...
No one will ever be mean to me again, says Vergil. Wait, so you're not gonna, like, kill the universe? What? I mean, if the universe tries to fuck with me, I'll clap its ass.
Be it like this is drawing a little bit from the exploration of Vergil's character that we get in 5, but even in 3, he doesn't show any alternative. He doesn't go out of his way to kill people. He just wants the power because it's my power, it's my dad's, it's mine. Give it to me.
Yeah. Like
what do you do with that? I want it.
A demon invasion occurs because Yamato. Do you realize how many years Vergil had Yamato and didn't open a demon portal with it?
That's a good point. Well, we don't know explicitly because we don't know that period of time between 3 and little baby house getting destroyed. But either way,
he uses bad things to fuck with Dante. And in 5, he opened like a fucking Clyphop, like it started killing a whole bunch of people.
But the thing is that
to fuck with Dante.
Well, it wasn't to fuck with Dante. It was just to get power for himself.
So he could beat Dante.
So the fruit.
That's what V said. In order to defeat his brother Dante.
Yeah.
Like, Vergil is evil because he's a means justify the ends kind of villain. Mm-hmm. He's not inherently villainous.
Exactly. That's the whole point I think we've been getting at.
He even says it in 5! If our roles had been reversed, would I be fine? And would you be evil?
I mean, that's what we come down to. It's that 5 is just a lot of, like, it's exploration of both characters and moral grayness instead of just good, bad, bad, good.
All right.
Slap the sticks.
We see Dante.
I know, like...
Execute Dante.
Execute.
Them all look like idiots.
Play.
And I wish they understood this about the story and the characters.
I wish they
understood.
understood.
They did exactly what I said they would. The exact same thing they've been doing over and over again since 2001.
What?
That's right. All of you guys got punked into basically playing the DMC reboot all over again. With better graphics. Cue the dance music.
All right, I need extra. I'm gonna let you finish this segment.
I think that was the whole thing.
Huh?
I think that was the whole segment.
I
don't think he has anything other than that.
I know. It's like they took the things that worked and worked in the remake, or even the things that didn't, but refined them so they did.
Okay, yeah, this isn't actually anything. Okay. So you just pause here.
I'm just gonna pause.
I mean, we actually have discussed because we've
already talked about this before.
Already made this point like almost 25 minutes ago.
He keeps alluding to it, and he's finally straight set that this DMC5 is just DMC. He said the same thing in the video that we watched forever
Yeah, he
ago.
said DMC3 is DMC 5.
Did he say that? When did he say that?
But he just showed it again. He's like, this is what they were doing over and over again.
Yeah. Oh, well, do you mean DMC5 in terms of DMC?
They're all the same.
Well, no, I think he's not saying they're all the same. This one, he's just saying that the remake is DMC5. Both DMC5s are interchangeable.
While showing footage of DMC3?
I don't know why that was there, but his main point in this is that DMC5 is the same as DMC5. Oh, God. DMC Devil May Cry. I don't want to say that every time.
So here's a cool thing. I'm going to talk to you about marketing.
I don't actually know where you're going with this. Okay, what?
DMC, Devil May Cry, successful franchise.
Mm-hmm.
DMC3 was the most successful of those games up until that point.
Mm-hmm.
DMC4 had some problems, but it still sold well, but nothing like DMC3. I mean, DMC3 also had 2 releases. Like
I think
back
now,
to back.
I think now DMC4 sold more with special edition when you compare them side to side. But either way,
that's like saying Endgame is the most like it has the most money of anything. Well, yeah, it's because you put it out twice.
Continue.
So, a Capcom marketing guy says, "What do people like about Devil May Cry?
Mm-hmm.
What do people like about the story? Mm-hmm. Oh, it's these two, like it's the main characters fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do that." And so then, a bunch of people who were not Kamiya or Itsuno came up with this story, and then they fucked it up, and then almost near release, they said, "Itsuno, can you just like help us fix this as a game?"
Mm-hmm.
And he did, to a certain extent. You can feel Itsuno's fingerprints all over Definitive because it plays so much better.
It's so much better. There's still issues, but it's so much better.
Yeah, Definitive is fine.
It's actually fun to play.
Yeah,
there's only a few. Like the red and blue system is still annoying that it exists,
but it's not mandatory.
But it's not. It's half mandatory, which is the worst part. But that's a whole nother conversation. But the thing is, there's things. Okay, first off, let's just talk about what he's comparing here. DMC5 is the same as Devil May Cry, but he's only comparing extremely surface level things. Dante and Vergil fight again, and Vergil has doppelganger. Nero says "fuck you," and was there a third one in that I'm missing in terms of his overall comparisons? But for the most part, all of these are completely devoid of context. The only one
that's why I was talking from a marketing perspective. I hadn't finished my point.
I'm sorry.
Well, no, it's just Capcom made a very cynical marketing decision to just do DMC3 again to sell DMC.
Okay, if I understand the full story, that's not true. You're still correct in the way that Capcom went to Team Ninja and were like, "Hey, can you make a Devil May Cry game? We want to market it to the Western audience."
They're just like, do DMC again,
and then
DMC distilled to its base
is a sibling rivalry.
Dante, Mundus, Vergil.
Yeah,
just stick them in.
Mm-hmm. But with the conflict between Dante and Vergil. And so
they had to make up a new one.
Yes, obviously,
which is what we've already talked about.
Mm-hmm. But of course, that's of course like an important. I guess you could say an important element in DMC.
I would say that DMC is more similar to DMC 3 because at the end it's just a hard Dante good, Vergil bad.
Yeah.
Then they fight.
That's what I'm saying. It's devoid of.
I'm not fucking.
Oh my god!
And it comes out of nowhere just so they can do Vergil bad. Like, it's a fucking plot twist reveal at the end that Virgil's a secret asshole.
I must rule them.
He's like, Mundus is gone. Finally, we're at peace. So I can take this bitch over.
So I can be the new Mundus.
Literally everyone. Kat, I think, who had been Virgil's quote-unquote friend for almost her entire life, was like, "What?
What? How did I not see your overbearing and assertive nature is not coming to this?
And your bigger dick."
Oh, I forgot about the bigger dick.
So that's why, and then DMC5 is what's considered a refinement of the series, which is taking the core of the series and pushing it in a new direction. That's what Itsuno wanted to do.
Yeah.
And did you also notice how this is the end of the Sons of Sparta arc? Which means this is the last time we're going to see it.
Yeah.
He's like, I just want to do it good, and then so we don't have to do it again. Like, that's like guess what? Like, Nero's going to be the main character now. We're not going to have Dante v. Vergil probably ever again. Like, maybe if they show up later, they'll probably have, like, a sparring session.
Yeah, if we did, it's actually in earnest, it would probably be written poorly and be annoying. And
Exactly.
just be a rehash. But, back to, like, his exact point on this, it's just, the comparisons are so devoid of context. Nero says, fuck you. And Dante says, fuck you. Dante says, fuck you when he's just trying to insult the demon. And then the demon says, fuck you back. And then he gets flustered and goes, hey, fuck you, and says it again. In comparison to Nero, after years of pent-up aggression and rage, not even directed at anything, but then he finds something to direct it at, his biological father, who skipped out on him, who also blew up an entire city and also is the cause of the divide between him and Dante. And then even then, the father's just like, oh, fuck you. And he's like, Wah!
It is a literal explosion of righteous fury.
Oh, God. When that scene happened, when I played this game the first time, I'm going to go completely, like, anecdotal here. I was like, I had no words. That entire segment, I wish I could remember the quote that Isuno has. It was like, ultra mega super finish climax. and like, oh my God, it was.
It's fuck you, like, oh God, is this all the writing? Like, is this all the writers have in DMC too?
Yeah.
To Nero, like, you deserve it.
It's to the camera zooming in, fuck you, matches with the music bombastically go in full transformation, and then you're just having a smackdown match on Vergil. You're like, at that point, it's one of those moments. I'm still going off this tangent that like rarely ever happens. But when you're playing that segment, I felt like it was no longer a game. It was like I was watching a well done movie and like the ending of a story arc. I was just so enthralled by it.
Okay, I won't go that far.
For me, it was just like I was like, oh my God, this is fucking amazing.
What I was thinking is like, okay, so I just fought Vergil as Dante, and it was a really like intense fight.
Yeah.
And we have to fight Vergil again. Like, what I was thinking was like, how is this going to be different?
Yeah.
And it turns out that it's like it's a victory
lap. It's 100% victory lap.
Style on this motherfucker.
They literally like have like the first time you fight him, at least have him like hard code sit on the ground so you can just grab him and beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
It's good.
Like, I don't.
What else back to reality.
Yeah. What else can we really say about this other than
the comparison? It's all surface fit level.
Yeah, it's like I can just make the same joke I said again. Like, the characters named Dante and Vergil are in that game. You're right.
Like, literally, the most you can draw out of the comparisons existing is what you said. That is like, and I don't even believe this to a greater extent, but that Izuno just wanted to make DMC again, but do it correctly. In the universe of original Devil May Cry.
They probably brought him in to finish DMC, and they're like, so here's what we got. And he's like, I can work with this.
Yeah. Like, and that's the most you can say. And like, well, it's fine, it works well. Like, reiterating something that's bad into something that's good doesn't make the thing that's good now bad.
Yes. And let's also, like, this is where this critique of Devil May Cry 5 is. Because remember, when he's talking about this, he's saying that because of these things, Devil May Cry 5 is one of the worst stories he's ever seen.
Because it has little bit similarities to another game, which is bad.
Which means at
least narratively.
Which means that we're viewing his comparison of DMC 5 to DMC through the lens of, and because of that, it's the worst story he's ever seen.
It just doesn't follow.
This doesn't pass the smell test.
All right, let's finish this montage.
You looking for a fight?
What? No chit-chat or monologue?
Oh, there's smarky one-liners in DMC by different characters.
So, if that editing is supposed to make a point, you could have said, oh, what, no, looking for a fight from Dante, and then immediately hard cut to flock off Featherface. Like, yeah. Guess what? Devil May Cry 5 characters? Shit talk the bosses.
Hey, well, here's another thing. Like, oh, what a surprise that a younger angsty interpretation of Dante is similar to a younger, inexperienced, but somewhat angsty character in Devil May Cry.
You don't... No. He's saying that because of this comparison, Devil May Cry 5 is the... We don't have to go that far. That's the thing.
Okay, here's the thing. Here's the funny thing about this. Although this is...
We don't have to analyze it that far. Because the argument doesn't go there.
Well, I know, but like this is in reverse. But this is like saying that wow, fucking Empire Strikes Back is so bad because it shares similarity to The Last Jedi.
Because a guy with a blue lightsaber fights a guy with a red lightsaber.
God, fucking like it's just and it
Does that happen in Last Jedi?
Yes. No. Yes. I don't want to think about the movie. Let's move on. Oh look, there's running animations, and they went to the house. Oh, they went to the same house. They explored similar thematic things, but differently, and well done. It's so similar.
Yeah, what's the point here?
You never had this much trouble.
Okay, that's a stretch.
There are characters that speak.
There's two
that
characters
are attempting to be some sort of information broker or mentor for Dante's character. Therefore, they're exactly the same.
They're exactly the same. Don't you understand? The Clifod's just like that underground level, underground newsroom area. Don't you get it? Urizen is actually
like
O'Brien. What the fucking hell?
Urizen is really Bill O'Reilly.
He's Bill O'Reilly. Don't you get it? It's the exact same.
Live. The Clive. Do we have to go into
No,
this?
we don't. I'm just making fun of it now.
We can analyze everything.
There's not much to say. I think we said enough.
Like he took instances from one level and compared that to the main problem of DMC5, which is the Clifod, in terms of like from a story perspective. So if you were trying to say that these games are the same, Mundus's tower would have to be the same as the Clifod. And you're talking about just from an aesthetic point of view, in which they're not similar. Is that why you didn't put it there?
I guess.
Because right now, these arguments are purely aesthetic.
That's what I'm saying.
And you're saying
they're
that
completely devoid of context.
a game in the Devil May Cry the Devil May Cry franchise is aesthetically similar to another game in the Devil May Cry franchise.
And therefore bad.
That is the most true thing that has been said. The games in the same franchise are aesthetically similar to each other, even though one's a reboot and one is not. That's where we're at right now.
I'm aware.
We're talking about aesthetics here.
They both insulted someone.
He compared that fucking character who...
With the eye that's in
info
one
dump
character...
from DMC to Morrison, who's in... What, 2 scenes?
Yeah.
He compared to... Because they're bald?
Because they're black.
Is that dude? No, that dude was blue.
I think it was... Yeah, I guess so. He had a beard and he talked to Dante.
Let's talk about the story of DMC real quick.
Okay, we're on here. Okay.
That character in DMC he's an info dump. Like, because...
I honestly thought he was going to come back. It seemed like that was a plot thread that they just dropped in the rewrite. It
in
really
DMC.
It's hard to think.
DMC. In DMC, the game is pretty levels with fighting in it, and there isn't a lot of nuance or subtext. There's not a whole lot to go on in terms of writing.
Not really. It's just like each level is go here, kill bigger demons so we can take out the biggest demon.
So that character was just dropped into the level to give the players something to think about.
As well as also seeing
what happens when Mundus is dead. Dante, whatever, had never even considered it. So he's literally just looking at the screen like, what do you think's going to happen after Mundus is done? Like, a character generated for plot convenience is contrived. And this guy, who shows up like, once or twice, and is like, hey, Dante, I've known you for a long time. Like, he is there to characterize Urizen. Because, just in case you didn't understand that Urizen was tough, he literally looks at the camera and says, Dante's never had this much trouble before.
Never had this much trouble.
Yeah, also a bit contrived, but it's not make or break.
It's not exposition dump the character.
They didn't think we need to put this in the game or else it'll be completely devoid of meaning. That's the difference between Morrison and whatever the fuck. Morrison is a fun little extra that gives a little something to Urizen.
Yeah, he exists.
Alright. Do you want to go back and look at other things, or...
No.
Okay.
You gonna make it through this, Dante?
I like the song. Oh, here we go, sad music again.
First, I didn't give a damn. But because of you, I know what's important now.
Where's this
I
going?
know what I need to do.
Whatever. I don't really care. I'm just gonna sit this one out.
Oh my god, he's gonna talk about the game?
Do we want to talk about that last point real quick, though? He's comparing the moment when Dante is slapped by Nero and realizes that he doesn't actually have to fight Vergil. Yeah, he doesn't wax poetically about it.
He doesn't have to kill Vergil.
Yes.
Because remember, in DMC 5, or in DMC 3, Vergil, falling into hell, it's kind of an accident.
Yeah, well, yeah, he completely intended to, if need be, kill him.
Yeah, but he didn't want to.
No.
That was last case scenario. In 5, that's choice number 1. That's where they've gotten. And Nero's like, no, you don't have to. It's springing Dante back into a DMC 3 mindset.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. Yeah, he doesn't wax poetically about it, but, it makes sense that he's just I'm gonna take a nap now.
If all you're talking about is, the most bullshit surface level, this is what the character said, without context, without interpretation, just these words together are this, and these words together are this. I would say Dante being relieved, and basically Dante being relieved of his impossible duty by Nero, and going just I'm going to sit this one out, is full of subtext and nuance, whereas Dante going, you have taught me that I'm a good guy. I need to be a good guy now, and I'm going to fight the bad guy, is so much better than DMC 3.
I have to agree with you a little bit there. All those scenes are really good in 3, but that scene I remember in particular, this is a good scene, it's acted well, but it's
DMC 3 is...
But it's a little okay, I get it.
Yeah, but here's the thing. We're going to go back to, his first original argument.
Yeah.
DMC has always been kind of schlocky, not really taking itself seriously, which has always been great. Mm-hmm. Which is why, the terrible writing in that scene, you have taught me what is good in life. I'm a good guy now, and I'm going to fight the bads. That writing fucking sucks. But we love it.
But it's not bad, though. Well... At least from a subject.
But it's oh, look at this fucking dumbass. Oh, good, he's gonna fight the bad guys.
My soul is screaming, I must stop you!
Now he's gonna fucking explode into devil form, and we're gonna fight on the top of a tower. That's fucking sick. DMC 5, you're there's you can read into subtext. You can look at characters' faces to determine their emotional state. This is a level that is never before seen in Devil May Cry. I was actually going and watching the DMC 5 cutscenes again to see if there was anything I missed.
They're really pretty.
Because you were talking about the characterization of Dante avoiding V, and I was agreeing with you based on his actions.
Yeah.
And I never picked up
What? Oh.
He just got onto the motorcycle.
Yeah.
And he looks back, and he sees V coming towards him. And just for a second, you can see his face contort with disgust.
Okay, I'll have to watch the scene again.
At the sight of V, now that he knows that he's Vergil. I was I had to pause, and I was like, oh! he literally goes ugh. Ugh. And then drives away. And then just take care, I gotta go. To say that DMC 3, from a writing and story perspective, is better than 5 is fucking absurd. 3 works and it's fun. It's fun gameplay, and it's fun story. That's basically all it is. But it's a fun story that has one of the best gameplay. The combo depth was overwhelming at the time. Mm-hmm. But that's all it is.
Oh, no, I'm going to push back on you in this one. I have to play 3 again.
It's a good continuation of the story. It's a characterization of Dante.
Uh-huh.
But the writing sucks.
That's true, but it all works together really well.
Yes, it's a complete fun package that makes it one of my favorite games of all time.
The final fight against Vergil, I think, is perfect.
Yeah, but that's not right. Like, that's not the writing.
It kind of is, though, because everything gets us to that part. In terms of dialogue writing,
I'm talking about dialogue.
Okay.
Because that's what he's talking
about. In terms of just dialogue. Okay, yes, okay. In terms of just dialogue.
He's talking about...
We're on the same page now.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
No, the fact that, like, two brothers at cross purposes come together in a tragic death match for the fate they think of the world is interesting. It's fun.
Yeah.
Which is why it was expanded upon in 5. But you see it from a different perspective. It's from they are cross purposes for they think the end of the world, the fate of the world, to, hey, wait a minute, why are they fighting?
Yeah. All right,
but like, whatever.
Let's get to level design because you can have some points here because there are some repetitive parts in this game.
Yes, he is now talking about like hard gameplay choices, which is where I think we will probably agree.
Let's see.
Like, I have some serious problems with DMC5.
Yeah.
As a game and as and from a marketing perspective. And I've been waiting to talk about my problems with the game, but we haven't gotten there yet. I think we might have to do like a final episode where we talk about what we actually don't like about the game, because I'm not entirely sure that they're going to get to it.
Yes, I was going to talk about this. Actually, I'll leave it to the end of this video. But yes, remind me to expand upon that in terms of our final episode.
Now, we've talked a lot about what it's like experiencing
level
the
design.
story and its characters. But what is
We
it
have
to
talked a
actually
lot.
Play through Devil May Cry 5. I've said before that the game is short, and we've already covered that the story is minimal. But where this affects the game the most is actually in the level design. Because the game wants certain things to happen at certain times, or for you to be playing specific characters for specific moments, the game suffers horribly from lack of consistency in tone and plot from level to level.
Okay. I was agreeing with him. I don't agree with the last few things in terms of character, tone, and plot. But yes, the game does, because it wants to tell the certain story it wants to tell, it does limit you in terms of what areas are in the game. You could have written it better to feature more areas.
This is a more linear Devil May Cry
but
game.
It's more linear, as well as like there's certain parts where like, okay, we kind of want to have like 1 or 2 more levels in here, but all the characters are in the Clifod, so they're just got to be Clifod levels again.
And there are no puzzles.
Yeah.
Like, this is a fighting game.
It's a straight fighting game.
Whereas the previous DMC games, especially DMC 1 and 3, are action-adventure games.
Yeah.
You're right.
You're right. I agree with you. I don't agree with you to the same extent.
I don't think that is a problem with tone.
I don't
Or
see...
like an inconsistency in tone.
Yeah.
I think tone changes depending on which character you're playing as.
And I think appropriately, too, but...
V can't have the same tone as Nero or Dante because he's not a triumphant devil hunter. Like, there will be changes
He's
in
Mr. Gingerbread Man.
Yeah, like, I don't think that is inconsistency because it's intentionally different.
Yeah.
You'd have to give me specifics on what you think is an inconsistency.
Yeah, let's see if he gives some examples on that.
Just when you start finding your groove with Nero, you're jumped over to V. And before you really start to dig into V, you're Nero again. And then you're V. You're Nero. You're V. Nero. V. Dante. Vero. Nero. Zero. V. Dante. Dante. Nero. Z. V. Dante. Gary V.
I fucking found a dumpster.
No, it's a
Okay,
monkey.
can you pause? Yeah, that Zero joke, that's a huge spoiler.
I don't even know what for, so let's move on.
Okay, good.
But I can agree with this one. It's it was the same complaint with DMC4 I had in the way that since you don't pick which character you play as, well, you kind of do in 4, but regardless, there's no what I should say, there's no set campaign for each character. So in DMC5, because obviously jumping in fresh and learning a character is really fucking hard.
Yes.
And so, like, when you start learning combos for Nero, then you get shunted away and played the V, and then you get shunted back. In particular, like, that's why, like, the final fight is a little... Yes.
Calling me teacher. I can
Yes,
talk
you were
about
saying?
this from a bit of experience.
Oh, sure.
Hey, that plucky little indie developer, Bayonetta.
Yeah, Kamiya.
Kamiya, you know, the guy you like.
That AAA indie studio.
That game's hard to get into, so you know what they did? They gave a practice mode. You know what Devil May Cry 5 has now? It's a practice mode.
It is nice that it has, but
Although, here's the difference.
I still cite it as a minor issue.
Fucking... In Bayonetta, they force you to practice because actually this is fucking awesome. In the loading screens, they take a little bit longer in the loading screen, so you can practice your combos while the next level is loading.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, in DMC5, you have to actually go and select practice, which I think actually, you know what? Now that I'm talking it through, I think that's better because like. Practicing getting in your groove with these characters is not mandatory, which as like a game is an incredible way to open this game up to first timers and a wider audience without sacrificing.
Which is why also I think the at least the base difficulty being quite a bit easier than previous Devil May Cry's works quite well in its favor. Yeah. In terms of at least reaching a wider audience as well as it making it more accessible, particularly because you keep switching characters.
Devil Hunter is not super easy. Human is fucking piss easy.
I'm talking about Human, yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was cool when I first bought it. That you have to like prove your chops to unlock the harder difficulties.
Oh, it's really fucking annoying though.
But like to make our mod videos, of which one I actually still haven't edited yet. I have that. It's my favorite one we've done, by the way.
Yeah. Oh,
I'll have to see. If someone, Scrumbumbulous, comment if you want to see episode 4 of that. But my computer is struggling a little bit. I'm upgrading soon. It's on its way. So we're probably going to see better mod videos if we actually still want to do that stuff.
well, we'll see.
But we can't film any right now because my computer's all fucky and I'm not sure why.
You shouldn't have downloaded those 2 terabytes of porn.
You know what the worst thing is? It's 3
discs.
now. What?
What?
No, this is not my... No, I have a porn computer. My Faptop.
What were we talking about? There was an
We're
important...
talking about my porn collection.
There was an important conversation we were having, and I've forgotten what was it even about.
Yeah. Just rewind and hit play first time.
Fucking damn it, you did this.
Dante, Nero.
Oh, that.
The difference. The differences in the playstyle between characters.
That's copyright.
But for like fans of Devil May...
No, it's a month.
For fans of Devil May Cry 5, of Devil May Cry, the most interesting thing about the game is how different V is.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, the problem that you have with the game is that you can't choose your character until later in the game, which makes learning each individual character a bit more difficult. I guess.
Well, yeah, I think I agree.
It's not technically untrue.
No, I think I agree with
You also
this.
have to start off from scratch with each character and buy new moves and play with them as you go through.
It's quite annoying.
It's annoying.
Well,
but
it's not too
for first timers.
It's not too bad for first
and
timers.
For learning
it
characters,
works.
especially V, because I was a first timer with V.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, what? Like, if they just given me the whole fucking move list, I'm like, what the fuck's promotion?
That's a good point. It is a double-edged sword.
You have to go and buy it, and in order to buy it, you have to read what it does and how to do it.
Yeah,
and then you can go into practice mode and learn with it.
Yeah, in terms of learning new characters, slowly unlocking new powers through getting red souls helps learning the character. So, like, you would be throwing people in a pretty big deep end if you had the Proud Soul system like you did in 4, which I do kind of like more still.
I like the Proud Souls.
I like it better than 5, but it's still like, which one do you go with? Like, it's hard to say which one's
the
better.
problem with Proud Souls. I had like fucking millions.
Yeah, I like that system. It was very annoying.
It took me
getting everything for every character.
Like I'm a Devil May Cry veteran. Like I guess you are too now, but I'm a veteran. I had more Proud Souls than I knew what to do with so fast when I bought SE. So, there is no perfect system.
No, yeah.
I think Proud Souls probably should have been in this game,
yeah.
but they needed one type of currency
So they could have
so
microtransactions.
you could have microtransactions, which is a huge problem with this game
Yeah.
and with Capcom in general.
Yeah.
That is one of my big problems with this game. I could talk about my other problems with this game, but that's not really what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, we'll get into it later. But to sum this section up so we can move on, I agree with this issue.
I agree with this issue about 60%.
Yeah,
65.
not to the extent he's making it out to be, but like, yeah, in terms of a criticism, yeah, I can understand.
Yeah,
I can 100% understand being annoyed by this, and even I did, like, because I always sum it up. Devil May Cry 5 is much more interested in telling the story it wants to tell, and so everything takes a little bit of a secondary seat. Not too much. The gameplay's still amazing. The game's still great, but in terms of like,
I think this is a gameplay problem and not inconsistency in tone.
exactly, yeah, 100%. So okay. Moving on.
Now it's 2 months ago. You're in the city. You're in the forest. You're in a harbor. You're underground. You're in the library. You're in a tree. You're in a tree. You're in a tree. You're in a tree. You're covered in blood. You're in a tree. Now it's a month ago. Yay! Now you're.
Okay, this is over dramatic and hyperbole, but yeah, I agree.
His
You're
point is there's a lot of
levels
tree in the Clive
and there are a lot of levels in the Clive
You're
Pod.
correct.
I think the only one I would say is that like this level right here where he's playing with V, it's a boss rush, but it's cool.
Awesome.
I really do like it. It's
the first time that like you're forced to make do with less because they take away your powers and you're like,
it's the best section for you to learn what each little character that V has actually does instead of just like mashing buttons and getting a triple S. You're like, I'm good.
Yeah, it's also like characterization of V.
Yeah.
Like the things that happen to V. He becomes less powerful. Like everything that has to do with V, like he runs away from a boss fight, he gets his powers taken away, he starts disintegrating, he hides from another boss. Yes, that's a different tone.
Mm-hmm.
Again.
He's a different character.
He's dead. Virgil. End credits fight. End credits fight. No, you're back in the tree. It sounds like I'm exaggerating.
Okay, but there's only 2 end credit fights though, and like I'm fine with end credits
fight. You don't go back to the tree afterward.
No, I think I'm fine with the end credits fight because they're a staple in Devil May Cry, and they were both fun.
The joke got away from him.
Yeah, I gotta keep going.
Like you had a point there. We agreed. You didn't have to go farther. Like you didn't have to make shit up for that one.
It's like we're in a room talking to.
That was a pretty good point.
It's like we're in a room talking to the guy. Like that's pretty good. Yeah, he just. Like, yeah, that's a pretty good, like, he's doing, like, a juggling move. Like, that's pretty good. Yeah, you don't do it anymore. And he just starts, like, no, watch me do this. Goes off a plank over a cliff. Now watch me juggle as I jump off this cliff. Like, you don't have to do it. No, and he's gone.
And then some guy at the bottom is like, do it with knives. I'll subscribe. Do it with knives. But here, like, his point is interesting here. Because from a story perspective,
yeah,
having a bunch of shit take place in the Clifod makes a lot of sense. But if you just read through like what each character does per mission, you're like, yeah, like a bit samey in terms of gameplay. But but that's what we've been talking about the whole time. The gameplay, like the hard level design, takes a back seat because story takes precedence.
Yep. Because I'll agree with this point. By the time I finished, it's the level right before you get control of. It's right before Vergil comes back. God damn. Because there's like there's a whole bunch of Clifod levels in a row, and they're all like the samey blood Clifod. Like it's at least nice when you get to Dante and it transitions to the upper atmosphere white Clifod. At least
like
it's
the
a different
fucking
scenery.
Quartzy, multicolored rainbow Clifod.
It's different. It's nice. I like it. But like that middle section where it's all like the blood red Clifod, you're like, oh god, give me something else to look at.
Something that happened in this game that I kind of felt in 1 and 3. Strangely enough, I didn't feel in 4, but in 5 as well as 1 and 3, like there were moments that I was like, I'm busting for a change of scenery here.
Yeah, I get it. It's not a huge issue,
then again,
but I see
double-edged sword.
Yeah.
In 4, you're like, I was in a forest, now I'm in a fucking castle.
What the hell is this?
Like, where like that's inconsistency in tone.
There isn't even a joke in the game about it.
Yeah, like.
Why is there an ice castle
like hard
behind a shanty town?
Yeah, like a hard like changes in scenery, differences in level design will, unless you do it perfect, generate some inconsistencies in tone. I think the problem with this game is not inconsistency in tone. I think it's too rigid with its tone.
Yeah.
So I disagree with your fundamental argument, but I agree with how you got to it.
Agreed.
Exaggerating, but playing DMC5 is literally like a much more boring version of that. You leapfrog from character to location to boss fight, and you never really feel at home with the game. By the time Dante shows up for his first mission, you've essentially played through two sort of beginnings of a story with Nero and V.
Okay, well, I mean, that's all subjective take. He felt
Wait,
bored.
How can you say that you have two sort of beginnings of a story? You told us that nothing happened in this game.
Oh, God. But, like...
No, seriously, you have to explain that.
Yeah, it's an inconsistency.
You just said that things happened with Nero and V, but then you just said that nothing happens. Even if all there is the sort of beginnings of a story, that's still something.
The problem,
that's more than nothing.
The problem, he uses too much hyperbole in this video, so it's very hard to find his actual point within those. But, regardless, what was my point? Fuck.
I just got a little angry. I might have just echoed for a second.
It's fine. We'll cut it in post.
I most certainly will not. And what do you mean, we?
The royal version of we. Thank you very much.
You mean we? You mean me?
Yeah, just turn it upside down. Fuck, what was my point? Oh, yeah, like, okay, I can't really say much to it, because, like, if he felt bored, then, okay, yeah, he felt bored. I can't argue that he didn't feel bored. All I can say is I didn't feel bored. If you were saying that, like, yeah, the levels were samey and it made me a bit bored, I'm like, I can say it.
Like...
I can't really respond to that.
Devil May Cry games have always, like, their variety comes with different characters with different movesets. Like, do you remember how excited I was for a special edition?
Oh, yeah.
You were like, dude, how many times have you played Devil May Cry 4? You're like, no, you don't understand. You can play as Trish and Lady now. It's a totally different game.
This is a segue, but I find it funny how, like, back in DMC2, how excited people were when they found out that, like, at the end of the game, you could unlock Trish, who just has the DMC1 moveset of Dante, and you're like, it's so much better!
You beat DMC3, it's like, hey, do you want to be Vergil? You're like, yeah.
Yeah. Give me playable Vergil in 5, damn it. You fucking cowards.
Again, problem I have with the game.
We'll get there. Alright, let's see where he goes, if he actually makes a point.
Two sort of beginnings of a story with Nero and V, but the game is already half over. Of the game's 21 missions, missions 6, 17, 19, and 20 are all one-and-done boss battles with no traversal. To make things worse, missions 19...
I don't know if that's particularly bad, though.
It's fucking hype.
Looks like he's making another point with this, but, like, I don't see that as an inherent issue of just having, like, a mission itself being a boss. Particularly, it works out because...
The Gilgamesh boss fight, there's so many different ways to fight that thing.
The Gilgamesh boss fight is, like, honestly, I would like... That was definitely one that they kind of threw in just to see what they could do and have fun with it. I would like a expansion on that concept of having a extremely large boss in a Devil May Cry
if you play
game.
that mission once and never go back to it, that's pretty short.
Yeah.
But if you go back with other Devil Breakers that you've gotten later,
It's the best.
it's like fucking Mythbusters.
Particularly if you get
How
enemy
hard can I uppercut his back pimple?
Yeah, particularly once you get enemy step and know how to use it properly, you don't need the grapple to get on top of him. You just fucking hop up.
DT and then Buster his weak spot.
It's great.
It's fucking sick.
But, like, okay.
But these are problems that I think are stemming from the fact that he played the game once and didn't really like it and didn't feel the need to go back to it.
Possibly, I don't know.
Because if that is true, if he only played Gilgamesh once, yeah, it's kind of short.
I'm just trying to think, like, I'm trying to, like, see, like, what's the criticism here? It's short? I guess it is. If you find that to be a lack of quality, then I guess I would agree with you. But, like, I don't find it to be a lack of quality.
The Outer Worlds is like a 30-hour massive, like, it's a massive RPG. It was like 30 hours.
Yeah, like...
It's dense.
Yeah,
I played that game. I near 100%ed it. It took me like 35 hours tops.
Yeah, I just don't know how to respond to this criticism. Maybe it looks like he's going to qualify it more, so let's see what he says.
19 and 20 are both against Vergil in the exact same area. Missions 14, 15, and...
Okay, 19 and 20, yes, but they work narratively. Because first off, as we already talked about, the actual boss fight is with Dante. It's a victory
The final
lap.
boss
Yeah.
is Dante v. Vergil.
It's a victory lap when you're playing as Nero.
Yeah, but this is, again,
At least for the first
something that
playthrough.
we've had a problem with. Like, the game
Wants to
is
tell the
narrative
story.
over, like, level design.
Yes.
Oh, this is so refreshing.
That we can kind of agree with them.
I fucking love this part.
It's like we can have actual discussion about Devil May Cry here instead of
'cause he
just
had-
like, I don't understand what your point is.
Yeah, he's
sir.
not saying, like, there are some inconsistencies with tone, and he's saying, like, mission blank, 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 like, giving specifics. He's
Oh,
not
it's
like,
so good.
He's not like, what's the level design of this game? This game doesn't have level design. Like, this part is, like, fucking 100 million and dillion dick % better than all of the rest of this video.
Just give examples, man. It's so much better.
Dude, thank you.
But okay, let's
Talk,
Yeah.
let's talk about, like, mission 15, 16, 14, 15, 16.
So tell me.
16 all stall the story's progress within the same stretch of time. 3 missions repeat the same years and
Okay.
16 all
I don't remember which one those were. Like, it's from the video. It looks like he's talking about the ones that. Well, oh, I know this one. This is the section I was talking about. This is right. These are the missions before the first time Urizen comes back. I mean, Vergil comes back. It's those middle levels where even I was like, I'm starting to get a little dull here. It's all the red Quilag tree levels.
Yeah, but it's all...
Yeah.
Those missions are, you've been playing as Dante for a while, you probably have most or all of his moveset, you have all of his weapons. Go.
Yeah. Go, you can play, and if you want...
Like, yeah, they could have done it, had in, like, one long mission or 2 missions, but they just want to make sure that if you're playing it just for one time, you can still get most of Dante.
Yeah, as well as I believe like these missions as well.
That's
at
a
least
gameplay over narrative.
Yeah, a few of
thing.
these are also missions where you can pick to play as one of the 3. So it's like it's also a little like break up. You're like,
Yeah,
okay, if you've been hankering to play
if you
V
like
again,
Dante,
yeah,
like, but you're tired of him because you've been working on him so much. Hey, do you want to play as V or Nero?
yeah, just like to break it up a little bit, and also like showcase their multiplayer system, which we can talk about again later as well.
That's another huge problem I have with this game.
Yep, we'll get into it later. Let's go.
stall the story's progress within the same stretch of time.
Okay, but sum that up. I have to agree with that point. Yes, it does stall the point. It's not that bad though. I wouldn't say.
It's it's the only time in the game where gameplay takes precedence over narrative, and you're like,
yeah,
like there could be more happening right now, but the gameplay is better.
yeah, agreed. So
You have to go back because he says you fight Urizen.
I know. I was about to say we already talked about this a million times, but let's see what he
15,
says.
15, and 16
Yeah.
all stall the story's progress within the same stretch of time.
Yeah, but we've been
Three
kind of
missions
agreeing
repeat
with
the
him for a
same
little
years in
bit,
boss
but we
battle
have to
with,
hard
Fury
disagree.
Mission 17, mission 14 is a boss.
We have to hard disagree
Yes.
on the Urizen.
We talked about it a million times, so we're going to keep it like brief here, but they're different.
If you think that every Urizen fight is like, come on, dude. Like, yeah.
The first one is you're supposed to lose. The second one with Nero is that you have to break his shield. So you have to prove you've gotten better, and then you get your ass kicked narratively because he stands up. And then you fight him again as Dante, and it's an entirely different boss fight. And then you fight Urizen again, who has an entirely different moveset than standing up Urizen.
Even his character design is different at that point.
Yep.
And he's got fucking teleports. Like,
He's got teleport, uppercut, kicks. That boss fight's a bitch.
they're not the same. You want to know what? I felt like my fucking dick was diamond hard because I beat... I mean, it was on Devil Hunter, obviously, because it was my first time playing.
Yeah.
But I beat that one first try. I didn't even really have trouble against Final Form Urizen.
Oh, good for you. I beat him on my second or third try on Dante Must Die.
I haven't even tried that yet. That sounds fucking ridiculous.
Once you get your Risen down to the last bit and he starts doing his teleport kick / the move where he just sends millions of spikes out of the ground.
We're talking about the game now!
I know, it's really exciting. It's really fucking hard because you have to make sure you dodge the spikes out of the ground, and then after the spikes are on the ground, he instantly combos it with a massive uppercut kick that will one-shot you.
Oh, fuck yes.
It's amazing.
Hurt me more, dog.
And then the worst, and then tangents. The rest of the fight before that.
Speaking of
when he's
fight-
standing up and you're Dante, yes.
Didn't you want to finish this video?
I know.
Oh, no.
What? Moving on.
My thumbnail, Dante's mouth, is gonna get so big. He's just gonna be all mouth in the thumbnail by the time we finish this. This is our 10. Fuck me.
It's a lot of a lot.
Fuck my asshole running.
Let's go.
No, can I just preface this by saying that, yes, I now, like, Ian wants to keep doing this, like,
Yeah.
it's good. Like, we will finish a video we make responses to. We will always do that.
Yes, that is the promise we make to the series. I don't want to take anything out of context that anyone makes.
We owe it to the creators of these videos to listen to all of their points, to give discussions to everything that they say.
We're just a bit long-winded.
I am busting for a new topic.
I know. Let's go. Let's just finish this one up. But okay. So mission 14. He's gonna. Okay. Let him say. But it's gonna be boss rush.
Rush and only 8 missions in total.
It's a boss rush. Right.
The boss rush, I loved it.
It was fun. It also changed up the gameplay for V.
This point, I agree with.
Oh.
Yeah, the only 8 unique environments.
I completely agree with. Yes. It's you're like I wanted some more. Simply enough, wanted some more.
Variation.
Especially,
mission
sorry,
17,
one more thing.
mission 14
Yes.
is
Especially since the RE engine is like a powerhouse.
It's so. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why there's only a few of us. It's hard to get that visual fidelity for multiple areas. I can't tell. I can't say.
I don't know.
But either way,
In terms of like
that's an excuse, not
no. In terms of like visual design and the differences between levels, Resident Evil 2 has more variation
That's
than
true.
DMC 5, and they both use the same engine.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 7 has a lot of like level design differences between levels. Levels like Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 7 follow the same design philosophy, which is kind of an interconnected world of separate levels, which is the best way to make a video game. It's the best way to make a video game. It's the best way to make a video game.
Dark Souls is great.
Dark Souls is great. Sorry, tangent. I have a real blind spot and a soft spot for the Darksiders series, and I got like fucking shortcut boners from Darksiders 3. When I found out that the entire map was interconnected and they didn't really fudge Impossible Space too much, I was like, oh, this game's got some shit going on. Darksiders 3, not amazing. 1's the best. But, oh, by the way.
What?
Oh, sorry. We shouldn't talk.
Yeah, wait,
That's a tangent.
it's a boss rush. We like it though. It doesn't. Actually, hold on. He doesn't even qualify. It just says boss rush, therefore bad.
Sorry. Sorry. I need someone to play Darksiders Genesis with because it comes out tonight.
Oh god. Oh god.
I know. I finished Darksiders 3 last night and was like, when's Genesis come out? Oh my god!
Oh Jesus Christ. All right, let's keep going.
That's so embarrassing.
Rush and only
Liking Darksiders. I know that. I know that's embarrassing.
take place in new environments, some of which we never see in the game again. What that means is that the rest of the game's 13 missions are recycled bits of those 8 unique ones for maybe 15 hours
pause.
of gameplay tops.
Yes,
They're not recycled, but they do look the same.
that's true.
Like they're very explicitly not recycled assets because if they were, we would be tearing this game we would be tearing its dick off and throwing it into the fucking garbage disposal. No, they just look the same.
They just look the same. Like the worst you could say is they're uninspired.
They're
in
all
some
different
areas.
levels. Every enemy arena is remixed well.
Yeah.
Like
But in terms of just what you're looking at, it's
they're not visually distinct from each other, and therefore not as interesting as they could have been, but they are not recycled. That is a point that needs to be made.
I completely agree. Yeah. All right. Moving on.
Sorry,
So
could you
gaming-
pause for a second?
Oh God, what?
You... That was the silliest thing I've ever seen you do.
What?
You looked at your phone because you didn't put it on airplane mode, which means I care more about this series than you do. And then you were like, where do I put this? Where am I going to put this? And then you just tucked it in between your ass cheeks. I was like, what are you doing? You put it, because you have your legs crossed, and you just put it, tucked it in between your legs.
I drive a lot. I drive a lot for my job, and that's what I do quite often. It's the best place to put it so it doesn't fall anywhere. You just go to put it underneath your
What
leg.
happens if you have it on vibrate and someone sends you a text?
It's not between my actual crotch.
You're like, ooh,
Oh Jesus!
that was a mistake.
Moving on.
I accidentally stimulated my grundle live on camera.
Wait. Hold on.
15 hours of gameplay, tops.
Hold on.
Thanks to DSO Gaming for crunching the numbers.
Oh man, I was about to give him some, like, that's a little... Okay, good for you that he looked up something, but like, oh man, I thought he came up with those numbers himself. I thought he put effort into...
Well, let's read it out.
But, okay.
Putting it in math terms, DMC has 16 truly unique level environments out of 20 missions, while DMC 5 has 8 unique level environments out of 21 missions. Let that sink in. DMC 5 has half as many level environments. That's downright pathetic. If all you care about is level environments, yeah, that's not as good as it could be.
No, yeah, I'll agree with you there, but like, man, DMC was kind of really uninspired in some of its places. I mean, okay, visually, in terms of some of its art direction, particularly, I forget what they called, like, that other world, really cool to look at in DMC.
Hey, yeah, but I won't say I'm over, like, letters written in the sky to tell you what's going on and what's happening. I won't say I'm over it because I was never on board. Probably because the first time I really saw it was Splinter Cell Conviction, and that game gives me fucking crotch rot.
My daughter! Oh. Alright, let's keep going.
To put it another way,
okay.
DMC gives us 16 complete levels with no reusing assets. DMC 5 only gives us 8 complete levels, with the remaining 13 being recycled parts of previous locations. That is not true.
Okay, I guess if you want to split hairs, it's those levels are used in those levels. The levels that you're saying are being recycled are just set in the similar environments to the other levels. They're not being reused. You're not backtracking through the exact same level. They're not like 100% recycled. It's just a similar art design.
He's also saying that DMC 5 fell victim to poor planning. No, the things you're talking about are intentional.
No, what the hell? Yeah,
It had a lot of development time and had a lot of budget. That's on purpose.
As we talked about, it's on purpose.
That's also why they're not recycled. They look the same, but they're not recycled.
It's on purpose to facilitate the plot they want and story they wanted to tell.
It is, however, not ideal.
No, that's the point we should probably hammer home here. Like it's not.
I don't hate it. It's not recycled, but also don't love it.
It's not like us. It's not a good thing. It's just it's there. It could be better. Moving on.
Normally, this wouldn't be a problem. I can think of tons of games where the entire story takes place in one similar environment. But where DMC 5 loses me is that it never ties any of these places together.
What?
The environments are not guided by the story.
What?
So there's never an actual reason for you to be anywhere that you end up.
Okay, well,
Which is really too bad.
the problem with DMC 5 is that they are only guided by the story.
What is he talking about? Like,
DMC 4 is not guided by the story. Your jungle. Now, like, you come
Ice
out of
Castle.
the jungle and you're at the fucking Order of the Sword. Like, it's hard cut, like, the tree line ends, all of a sudden, massive cathedral. You're like, wait, shouldn't that be in Fortuna? What's it doing here?
How is there a temperate climate next to the Arctic?
It feels like you're traveling around a continent, but you're just walking from scene transition to scene transition. It's mental.
Yeah, okay.
In this, like, the opposite problem.
There's always
They pepper in, like, some interesting stuff into the city, but it's basically city Clifot.
There's always a reason where you're going to anything. Sometimes they understate it and they could state it a bit more, but in these opening levels with Nero and V, you're just trying to get to the Clifod tree to fight your Risen again. That's it. And stuff happens per level.
Yeah, like, there's some narrative stuff that happens just because it needs the narrative happen.
Yeah, and when
Like,
Dante's going down through the Clifod,
Nero and V meet up somewhere, and then they're literally taken on a boss fight / roller coaster ride to Dante's house, so they can end up at Dante's house. Like, it's the problem with this is that it's too hard narrative focused. Again, I disagree with your main point,
but
I agree with how you got there.
Some of these environments look really good.
Okay, yeah.
Keeping in mind
Yeah, it's
the
the
lower
RE engine.
difficulty, excess of gold orbs, and the narrow A to B structure of the level design, you get the distinct impression that the game wants to funnel you to the end as quickly as possible.
Okay, not as quick as possible, but it is a linear game. We already talked about this. I mean, we don't see that as an issue, and I guess you can dislike it. You're not wrong for disliking it, but it's not an issue. objectively.
I also, linearity does not denote lack of quality or lack of care.
Yeah.
I am so burnt out on open world games, it's not even funny. I tried to play Rage 2. Because if we were ever to do that developer...
probably.
I had an idea that we would do like a stream, but like we're not really big on streaming right now because we don't... I did one stream on YouTube with you, and I found out that YouTube's like streaming options are kind of all awful. I couldn't even download the stream to like fuck with it and edit it.
Oh dear.
So I don't really know what we're doing anymore. We're kind of in stream limbo, Baby D Live.
Yeah,
I don't know. I honestly don't know what to do. Where was I going with this?
Open world games?
Right, open world games. But it's a bit disingenuous and a little mean, but I've coined the downtime between points of interest in open world games as open world tedium.
Yeah, because open world look, this is definitely a tangent, but open world has become just a feature instead of a setting to expand upon the narrative of a story. It's just something that people do because it sells, but they don't know how to actually use the vehicle of open world to tell a cohesive story properly.
Like if you want to talk like God of War 4, I think those levels are too big. Because like you want to find all the secrets and shit, so you just like get on your boat and then you just hug the wall. And you just keep going around and around. And that game, if you want to talk God of War 4, that game does kind of try to break up the tedium by having a lot of characterization moments and conversations between the main characters. But I found myself going, man, I really appreciate that this game has that. And then I went, why is that? Oh, because this would be fucking boring without it. But to its credit, it does have that, so it's not as boring.
No, yeah. They recognized something that was there and they used it well. So like at this point it was like I don't even remember when I played this game, but it was around the Rage 2 time. And I was just like, oh, thank you. Thank you for being linear. Yeah, but like it should be also to note that that doesn't make open world games inherently bad. It's another way to do something, and it's just most people at this point have stopped using it properly.
An open world game needs to have its world be interesting enough so that you're not point of interest to point of interest straight line between them.
Yeah.
And I can count the number of games on one hand that I've gotten lost in. Like Morrowind, Witcher 3,
Oblivion. At least for me.
Oblivion kind of.
Anvil is the best town. Fuck you.
I wanted to say Morrowind over Oblivion.
I haven't played Morrowind, so I can't say.
I'm not, if I had to pick between them. But if, Morrowind, Oblivion on the list, like that crowding up the list with Elder Scrolls something awful. You know,
back when they were games.
Yeah.
That were worth mentioning.
Half-Life 2? Like, some of those levels are fucking huge.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that game's open world, but
I found myself going off the beaten path.
But they used the space to tell the story within that space very well, in terms of either making the area being like oppressive, claustrophobic, and like terrifying, like Ravenholm, or in the first area of Half-Life, where you're just walking around looking at City 17. They use the space to convey a living, breathing world that's also underneath.
Yeah, that's a linear game that tricks you into thinking parts of it are open world.
Yeah, and they do it perfectly to facilitate the narrative, and that's what we mean in terms of this. Like, you have to pick like the vehicle for your story that works best for the story. In terms of this story, a linear vehicle was kind of the best. Mm-hmm. Be it like you could have improved it and made it better. We'll talk about this later. We keep saying that, but we will. In terms of there's a lot of criticisms to be levied against it, but it doesn't make what we have in the game bad. It's just that there's things that could be done better.
Breath of the Wild came close. I actually found myself, I was exploring more in Breath of the Wild than doing mission objectives because I didn't like the mission objectives in Breath of the Wild, but I liked the exploring.
Fair. All right, let's see if we can finish this.
It's the fucking anti-Legend of Zelda
segment.
So you end up blowing through each area without really caring why. Even if you did take your time with
that's a choice.
There's really nothing to explore anyway.
Yeah, okay. I can't say anything because he personally found it boring and dull. I'm like, okay, I can't say you didn't.
Yeah, okay, is a bit subjective.
Yeah, it's
Like,
very
the objective problems with like the level design being samey. Yes,
that exists. That's there. But in terms of
But
like, I blew through it. I
whether
didn't
or
find
not
it
you
interesting.
blow through it in like less than an hour, that's totally subjective.
Yeah.
It's actually very interesting. This is just like a way to qualify it. It's a bit of a tangent, but it's qualifying it. The Call of Duty Modern Warfare beta.
Yeah.
Mac was playing that on his Xbox One X because he has one. I know, right?
Yeah.
We love you, Mac. And I don't really play. Like, I don't play online games. I don't play that many first-person shooters. So the way that he and I went about it was completely different. It was also the first game I'd ever seen running on an Xbox One X. So, you know, he was like bang, boom, bang, pow, 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 kill streak, through the door. And I was like walking around. I was like, yo, shoot the hood of that car. I want to see how the bullet decals look. Is there any deformation on that? Yo, look at the bump mapping on that, on the grout between those. Like, wow, that looks good. Like, yeah. Like, the presentation in DMC5 is fucking there. It's just, you know, if you don't want to look at it because some of it tends to blend together, that's fine.
Yeah. It just doesn't make it inherently bad.
No.
You're better off carving a straight line to the end. The game kind of crosses its fingers that you won't find this boring, which is probably why it throws a new environment at you every mission. But don't worry, by the time you get to the tree,
Wait.
it's
Okay, well, what he said...
Did he just say it throws a new environment at you every mission?
He is technically correct because what he's about to say is that until you get to the tree, and then it's a lot of tree. Which, I mean, like, okay, that is correct. I wouldn't say the game is crossing its fingers to try and hope you're not bored, because the gameplay is great.
The gameplay is great.
The story that they're telling.
You do cut. Like, there are secrets that you can find, but this game is more similar to fucking Doom than it is to other.
Yeah, that's true. You just
like to DMC1.
Yeah, you cut through. You just slice through people. You get rewarded with a good boss fight,
and you
and
find
then
some secrets from time to time.
yeah, and then a good cutscene that
Here's the thing.
characterizes.
Like Resident Evil 4 is one of my favorite games. I could do a fucking puzzle, man. I could go for a good puzzle. But in DMC5, like, I was like, the pacing was good, and the pacing was good for the linear game that it is.
Yeah.
That in that Dante mission, when you had to do the puzzle with the blood,
puzzle, but yes,
I was like, oh, come on!
I need to kill.
I'm like, oh, dude, fucking, come on. I'm tapping my wrist I'm like fucking Sonic. I'm like, let's get the fucking move on. Gotta go fast.
Well, like, yeah, it's not inherently an issue. It could be done better. It's really not that bad. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, in terms of, like, looking at shit,
Yeah.
I was, like, looking at stuff. I found the clean hand early, like, did the secret missions. Like, I enjoyed the game. But, like, I found the one puzzle that they put in there to be a bit tedious.
Because it wasn't
which
even-
is the opposite of this.
It wasn't even a puzzle. It was just you walk around and just stab things until it solves itself.
Yeah, I guess.
But,
not in
all
these
right.
flesh walls for the rest of the game. You're welcome.
Remember you once asked me how a bullet comes out of a gun?
I'd say overall, it's pretty clear that they wanted to lower the bar of entry for new players, but boy, oh boy, is Devil May Cry 5 catered to that new player demographic.
The bar is lowered in terms of the easier difficulties are easier. And
No, he's talking about...
but in terms of level design,
He's
I don't
talking
really
about the linearity.
is that
If he was talking about Fallout, I would agree.
Yeah.
Streamlining Fallout doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Oh god, yeah.
But
like,
having a bunch of obtuse puzzles and fucking platforming
oh, thank
in
God,
Devil
it's
May Cry
gone.
5-1, like 3,
Oh, the platforming.
like in 3 is when I first started to realize that I was having more fun fighting than I was solving puzzles. And like I fucking appreciated the fact that this game like didn't have a whole lot of puzzle stuff.
It like basically this game decided what Devil May Cry was about and leaned into it in terms of great combat.
I liked,
But it also told a great story
I
as
like
well.
that it still didn't try to do both. Because like if I want to stimulate my brain in like a puzzly kind of figure shit out kind of way, I will go find a puzzle game
Yeah.
like Talos Principle or Portal 1. I think Portal 2 overstays its welcome a little bit more.
Yeah, arguably.
I mean, the writing is good,
Yeah.
but it is long.
It is longer.
Or what the fuck is that really, really good game that's literally just like fucking puzzles and non-Euclidean shit?
Antechamber?
No.
The Witness?
Yes.
I love that game.
Yeah.
I didn't beat it. I was up at the very end of the game, but I did everything in that game without looking up a guide, and I love myself for it.
I love myself. Like, oh,
big brain me.
how does it feel?
It feels like it.
I'm asking for a friend. I totally love me.
What was I fucking saying? But yeah, I guess you bring up a good point in terms of like if Devil May Cry 5 had similar amounts of puzzle solving and high acting combat, whichever one you came there for, you'd be like, if you were there for the combat during the puzzles, you'd be like, the entire time you're like, sit in your head like, okay, what if I do like, how do I combo this move into this instead of like I just want to get to doing a cool move again instead of like, okay, put the leaf into the feather and then the feather into the bird and then you click the buttons.
So here's the thing. Video games have always been trying to balance these things.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that I don't want like puzzles in my shoot bang.
No, yeah.
And shoot bang in
I
my
agree.
puzzle.
There's always a balance to keep things
But like
interesting.
the games that have fucking nailed it are also, I can count on one hand, Silent Hill 2. And I think that's it.
But it turns
like one of my favorite games in the... Sorry, I had more.
Yeah.
One of my favorite games in the world, Resident Evil 4. When you're you remember when you're playing as Charlotte?
I don't know her name.
I know Leon. When you're playing as Leon. They're like, how are we gonna open this door? And they just fucking plop a slide puzzle. And they're like a fucking slide puzzle. You're like, okay. It's getting fucking taking the piss now. Come on, Capcom. So, like a balance between those two things. Resident Evil 2, probably.
Yeah, it's got a good balance. But in terms of it doesn't make it bad if the game just goes, you know what? I just want to focus on making the best goddamn combat there is.
Yeah. Actually, no, yeah, it's games where you solve puzzles under duress. I think that I like. Resident Evil 2, Silent Hill 2.
You're a masochist, you are.
Well, I suppose so. But, like, Devil May Cry 5, like, you fucking just fight dudes.
It doesn't make it bad.
Like, no. And I also, like, we love the original Devil May Cry 5. Devil May Cry 5s. The original Devil May Cry 5. God, fuck! The original Devil May Cry games, puzzles and all.
Yeah, they're still good. Because they do strike a good balance. But in terms of, like, deciding to
enough.
refine one thing, yeah.
I don't miss them, is what we're trying to say.
True. All right, let's keep going.
You know what? Actually, you know
Game's
what?
too hard.
Could you imagine if you would, like, you're going into the Clipod and, like, you go through one of the blood doors, but before you can, you have to solve a Sudoku?
Like, oh, come on, I just want to stab some dudes.
I would fucking, like, go to Vergil's house and, like, shit on his lawn. Fucking Sudoku. Fuck you.
It's been a long time I haven't used my brain this much.
I never had this much trouble. I can't do
Overall,
Sudoku.
it's pretty clear that they wanted to lower the bar of entry for new players, but boy, oh boy, is Devil May Cry 5 catered to that new player demographic. If the game is too hard, you have 1,000,000 gold orbs, the game is easy, and you'll never die. If the game is too boring, you have 3 different characters, 1,000,000 weapons, the scenario changes every level, the game is easy, and you'll never die. But without the threat of a punishing death, or the reward of a compelling story, playing through Devil May Cry...
Okay, that's where I'm going to... Okay, but... Yes, the gold
reward
orbs...
of a compelling story.
Just like that was just like, oh, come
We
on.
spent
Come on.
10 hours debunking that point. So let's go back and talk about his other points.
I'm going to talk about... Okay, gold orbs being annoying. Yes.
Capcom's monetization strategy with Devil May Cry 5 exists, and therefore I don't like it.
And the thing is, I'll agree with you. It's annoying that it exists, but the thing that's nice about it is that it doesn't shove it down your face. You don't act.
No,
it
but
doesn't.
it allows you to buy for real money things that the game will already reward you with for playing well.
Yep. As well as
Fucking read.
as well as you can heal yourself with your red orbs and gold orbs.
Like, that's a fucking Capcom problem.
That
And
is.
Resident Evil 2 didn't really have any of that.
Not as much, no.
And I'm thinking that that's a step in the right direction. But Devil May Cry 5 will still always have been the game that had this problem.
Yes. The thing is that, like, it doesn't bother me too much because it's very easy to just be like, to yourself, I'm never going to use them.
I know.
The thing is,
But
it doesn't fix the issue because
it
it's
doesn't
still
fix
there.
the fact that Devil May Cry 5 had a fucking slightly predatory monetization strategy.
Yes.
But then again, SE also did. And I was like, ew.
Yeah. It's still not great back then either.
I also am big not liking the DMC5 one because there's some shit I wanted to do the mod video. And so I had to... So because I bought it for PS... Since I bought the PC version, I had to buy some of the add-ons.
Yeah.
To get some of the mods working.
Oh, God.
Which means I did buy some fucking DLC for Devil May Cry 5, and I'm like, I hate myself for it. But it made those videos fucking funny.
Yeah. Like... DLC isn't inherently bad, but if it's but only if it's DLC that's worth the price.
I can count on one hand
How many one of those are actually worth the price? I know.
The Witcher 3, in terms of like value for money, it's The Witcher 3, Age of Mythology, the fucking expansion pack with the Titans.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's value for money. It had an entirely new campaign.
I never played it, but would you say the Oblivion add-ons?
No.
No.
Shivering Isles was good, but that is, like, I still call, like, stupid cosmetic microtransactions.
Yeah.
I still call those horse armor.
Oh, well, yeah, okay. No, I was talking about Shivering Isles, not horse armor.
Yeah, Shivering Isles is fun.
But either way.
Like, Shivering Isles is a legitimate expansion pack, but that doesn't stop the other DLC from being shit.
Yeah. But we agree with the point of, yeah, the monetization of Devil May Cry 5 with gold orbs is shitty.
Yeah.
It doesn't make the game too easy, though, because that's his point.
Sorry. By the way, whenever I'm talking about, like, Diablo 4 or, like, Apex Legends having horse armor in it, that's what I mean.
I understand.
Yeah.
But, does it make it too easy, though, with the gold orbs? Like, it depends on...
Like, if you want to be a bitch and use them.
I was gonna say, like, if you use them, yeah, arguably it could be too easy. But, like, in terms of the difficulty, if you self-impose how the game arguably would be is intended to be played without those, the challenge is there. It's great.
Yeah, we can, like, I don't really throw that word around often enough, but if you use gold orbs, you're a bitch.
Never once did I touch those.
Fucking casual.
That's a hard conversation because yes, they're there, they're annoying. They do make the game easier, but you can also make the choice of just I'm not going to use them
Yeah, exactly.
to
That's why
impose
I'm
my own
saying
difficulty.
this is a Capcom problem.
Yeah.
And it sucks that Devil May Cry 5 has this Capcom problem. It doesn't make the game bad.
Yeah,
But,
it's an issue.
like, I have to say, like, because I don't give microtransactions any fucking quarter.
No,
I hate microtransactions. I hate fucking loot boxes. I hate free-to-play. I allow myself one free-to-play game. It's the fucking Dokkan Battle, the Dragon Ball Z game, and that's it. Like, it's a monetization strategy I fucking hate. And so, if I ignored that problem in DMC5 because I like the game, I would be the biggest piece of shit asshole hypocrite. And I can't ignore it. Because it's there.
yeah.
But I think that's not even what he was talking about. I think he was saying that the game is too easy because there's gold orbs. Because the way that gold orbs revive you has changed from 3 to 5.
Yeah.
Because in 3, gold orbs
Depends what
allow you to respawn from a checkpoint.
Or if you used, well, yes and no. Because remember, because there's two ways to play 3, at least in the special edition.
I never played the other one.
Because yeah, you played the bullshit ultra hard. I hate myself version.
Pre Dante's Awakening, yeah.
Oh god.
Well,
yeah, I didn't play it that way. I wanted to actually finish the game in my lifetime.
yeah.
Because yeah, in that way, the gold orbs, what they allow you to do is to restart at the boss.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because losing to the... I stopped playing that game when I came back to it because it was around when you were playing it. I was playing the remastered collection. I bought it just so I could have every Devil May Cry game on my Xbox One library. Mm-hmm. DMC 1, 2, 3, 4 special edition, DMC Definitive, and then 5, and then the 5 demo, and then 5.
Gotta have them all.
Gotta catch them all. I want to be the very best, like many people have already been before me. I've seen the videos.
But yeah, the gold orbs were were weird. And
Yeah, but I was saying, like,
3
I
was hard.
quit DMC3 again a little while ago.
Yeah.
Because I had the other gold orb way.
Yeah.
And I lost to Guitar Lady. Fucking crushed my soul. That level's so long.
Yeah, because with that other gold orb way, you have to beat the entire level and then beat the boss. And the gold orbs is how many times you can. I think it's restart at a checkpoint, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then once you run out of gold orbs, you have to restart the entire level again.
Oh.
Yeah, the other way is just you can just keep restarting at the boss. Like a normal game.
That's bitch casual shit.
Oh, fuck you. I wanted to actually beat the game so I had time to play the other
So you could play 4 SE because DMC5 was literally like
around the corner.
it was the head was crowning out of the vagina.
I played
it was here,
all Devil May Cry
being delivered.
games, every single one, like a month before Devil May Cry 5 came out. I rushed that shit.
How long have we been doing this episode?
I don't know. I'm trying to get to the end of this section.
Okay.
For me, was hell. And
Hold on.
story, playing through Devil May Cry 5 for me was hell, and not the good kind.
I'm sorry.
For returning franchise gamers, it almost feels like you're being encouraged to just blow through the game really quick so you can get to that second, harder playthrough. But then what's the point of enjoying the game in the first place?
It's an interesting point. I half agree with it in the way that, like, when I first played through, the Demon Hunter mode was a bit too easy. I wanted to challenge myself more, but I couldn't. So you play through it once and you beat it.
When I played my first playthrough on Special Edition of 4 was Legendary Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, fuck me till I love it. Like I want it to bleed.
Yeah.
At no point was I playing Devil Hunter in 5 going like, this is too easy.
No,
I never thought that it was too easy.
I never thought it was too easy. My only complaint was like, I mean, I like. I wish you could select all the difficulties from the beginning, or at the very least, you didn't have to play through the game again after you beat it on Devil Hunter and then Son of Sparta to then get Dante Must Die. Although, like, you can do the which I'm glad it exists. You can beat the game, air quotes. Like in the very beginning, beating your Risen to skip a difficulty. That's what I did to get the Dante Must Die faster. But like, so it exists. It's not that much of an issue. But like, I guess that's a problem.
Like that I would call a legitimate nitpick.
Yeah, it's like not a huge issue, but like, yeah, it's something it could be better.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, in terms of, but like,
okay.
it doesn't make it. It's not rushing me through the game. I don't feel it's a linear game.
No, it's a linear game
telling a story.
Because it's linear. It's shorter than other games because you're not doing puzzles.
Yeah, it
Like,
feels
in 5,
like.
they artificially like lengthened it by making you do fucking dice board games.
God, what it feels like he's describing to me is that, like, if you played Devil May Cry 5 and just skipped every cutscene and just hated every moment of it, just like he's just rushing you down the same levels, like, because the reason Devil May Cry 5...
hell, I beat Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition in 30 minutes.
Because I don't feel like Devil May Cry 5 rushes you because the story with the cutscenes paces it really well.
I guess there really isn't too much to say, but
yeah,
let's just keep going. I heard a fucking musical crescendo coming.
Then what's the point of enjoying the game in the first place?
What? Do you want to finish this next time? You can cut it's about 5 more minutes. My plan here.
Okay.
My plan here is to not release this episode because I have time coming up soon over the weekend. We can just finish one and just make a super episode for the end because I don't want to break them up. Simply put. What?
I would release this episode.
Would you?
Yeah.
You sure?
I don't want to release an episode that's like 7 hours long, or 6 hours long.
Fair enough, I guess.
Like, people have been watching it to the end in chunks of 2 hours.
Okay, fine.
I don't want to ask more of them.
Okay, fine.
Because asking people to listen to us for 2 hours at a time is a big ask.
Okay. Yeah, I'm fucking. I don't even expect anyone to finish this. I'm just completionist sake at this point.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, that's why. That's yeah. Fuck.
This was my favorite part.
This was really
We
good.
weren't particularly funny, but I perked the fuck up. I'm not even tired anymore.
I bet you gameplay we'll get through a lot faster, just because he said he liked the gameplay, and we also like the gameplay. So I don't think there's much he's going to say about
the
this.
gameplay. I mean, I have nitpicks about the gameplay.
Yeah.
I think the fact that the momentum shit isn't there anymore.
Yeah, you can make you can make an argument for it.
The game that I played the most is 4SE.
Yeah.
Technically 4, but 4SE I played the shit out of it.
Yeah.
And so there were parts there was some shit that I fucked up in 5 when I was learning 5 because they just played a little bit differently.
Yes.
But is that me being like, no, don't change it?
Yeah, the only in terms of momentum changes, that one's much more subjective. But in terms of, I can definitely agree with the fact that because they changed reversals don't exist anymore, but they did in the beta.
Wow, that's
what?
That's deep, man.
It's deep.
You have to be really in there to know what you're talking about.
I know. Basically,
so for the sake of argument, what's a reversal?
What a reversal is, to simply say, any move that you can activate that makes a character basically lunge forward. Basically, say a stinger, an air caliber. I'm trying to think of another example. Basically, any move that adds momentum that pulls a character forward, you can input in reverse and have it go in the opposite direction. And so you could use that for...
That's right. I couldn't do that in this game.
No, yeah. You used to be able to do it in 4, as well as it did exist in 5 in pre-release beta builds that were at certain conventions. But they ended up...
I had no idea.
But they ended up disabling it because it ended up causing too much confusion among, I guess, the general audience people. So, that's a legitimate argument for them having dumbed down the game a little bit.
Yeah, because why don't you press back?
Yeah.
And why?
Yep.
That should be a launcher.
Yep.
How are you fucking doing reversals? Every now and again a reversal will come out and you'd be like, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Nitpick.
Yeah, that's one thing I'll say. It was a nitpick, and in the overall life of Devil May Cry 5 will probably impact it somewhat negatively in terms of the
combo mads.
The combo mads, but in terms of as a casual person playing the game and enjoying it,
some of the style beast shit I've seen for V especially is so much better than anything I've seen from 4.
Oh, it's. Are we done? Can I end this?
Except for Credo. If you can style on Credo, you're a fucking cool guy.
I've been meaning to plug this for a while. Not even plug this. I mean, because I don't even know the guy. Google a battle with Credo and watch both of them. They're fucking amazing. I love this man.
We are big Credo fans here at Austin Hates Things.
It's great. Are we done?
Or should I just say we're big Credo fans here at REEsponse? No, because
Recola.
Are we even Austin Hates Things anymore? I
mean, I don't
know. Because oh, it's Austin from REEsponse. I do other stuff too, but I just put out an episode of Austin Gets Spooked. Fucking nobody watched it.
Hey, you're Pedro Pascal from something.
The Mandalorian.
Yeah, I don't see your face. You're not important.
Dude, he got so lucky. The people already know him from Game of Thrones.
God, he's
Can you imagine if The Mandalorian was his breakout role?
No one would know who he was.
He could go shopping, and people would be like, "Get the fuck out of my way, asshole."
Do you have a bucket?
You in line?
Do you have a bucket I can put on? I'll show you who I am.
Yeah, it's like, "Oh, hey, dude, what's up?" And he's like, "Oh, wow, a fan. Are you in line, or can I get ahead of you?" I'm like, "Oh."
All right, well, I think that's enough for one
Yeah,
day.
that's enough.
All right. We'll finish it in the next episode. I swear to fucking God.
I mean, we're at 35 out of 43. And I'm hyped for the next episode now.
I think we'll go through it fast because it's gameplay.
This is the best.
This is the best section it's been so far by 100%.
Because we disagreed and agreed with him at about a 60 disagree, 40 agreed.
Yeah.
And we didn't have to look at his headspace or anything like that. We just got to argue points.
Oh, it was great because he actually cited things, man.
This part of his video, not perfect,
but
good.
It wasn't even that much.
This is a good section of his video.
It's very good. It wasn't even that much hyperbole, which is also great.
No, I don't think a lot of it was
he actually had raw
necessarily
numbers.
correct, but
No,
it was
yeah.
good.
Yes. Oh God.
Now it's done.
It is done.
Everything's changed. That's how it starts. The fever, the rage, the feeling of powerlessness that turns good men cruel